quit. So that becomes a behavior. That becomes like part of your character now. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell you a quick story. This is one thing that I quit on, right? That it fucked me up, my character and everything, right? This was like 2014. 2014 is like 2 years before I met you? So 2014, I was living in a house. It was a big house. It was in Clearwater, I think Clearwater Largo area. And I was working at Bright House at the time, and I had another job. I was working. That was later on. That was 2000. Shit, I don't know. But 2014, I had Bright House. I was working at Bright House, and I was working at a group home, right? So I'm doing double shifts. I'm barely home, but I see my kids. Like that's important. I'm there with my kids. I'm there with my family. You know what I'm saying? So, I, started to get the entrepreneur bug, right? This is when I first got it. So, I was like, one day I was like, man, I want to figure out what kind of business can I get into. So, I think it was Bright House. I got out of Bright House. I think it was Bright House. And I started working, because I was still at the group home, but I was working with this guy in Tarpon Springs who had a moving company. And he ran the moving company from a U-Haul place, which I found out later that's illegal. But he was an entrepreneur. He was an older man, older gentleman. Had an issue. He had a drug problem, but he was successful though. Like, he was running his business accordingly. He was busy. So I was working there. I stayed there for a year, right? The whole year, everything was kind of good. Everything was still going, pretty good. I'm still doing it at the group home, but I'm still at the moving company. So one day I go in and his wife is there, and she's like, "Oh, he's not here today. We'll call him Jacob. I ain't gonna say his real name. So Jacob, he's not here today. Here's the paperwork for the move today, so you can go out and do it. All right." So I take the paperwork, I take a couple guys with me, we go out, we move, we come back. The next day, dude is still not there, his wife is there. And she's like, tomorrow, here's the address, come and pick up the paperwork, right? So I was like, cool. I didn't put two and two together, I'm just ready to go to work. So I go to work, boom, finish the day, park the truck, I go home. And the next day, I'm driving, I lived in Clearwater, so I'm driving to Tarpon Springs. I'm driving to work, and I was like, oh, she told me to go to this address. So I look at the address, and I go to it, and it's her house. Yeah. So I pull up to her house. She had a big house in Odessa. I pull up to the house, and knock on the door. She invites me in, and she said, we were upstairs. She said, this is the last move you're going to do. And I was like, what? And why? And she's like, Jacob is, he got in trouble. He's in jail. He's not going to get out for a little while. Yeah. So I was like, damn. So I go and do the move, and then I go back to her house, and she wasn't there. So I go home. I'm tripping all the way home. Like, I'm in my feelings, man. I'm like, damn, like, I need this work. I need the money. So, sorry, this is a long story, but it's
I'm listening. This is part of my thing. I'm trying to be focused.
So the next day, I drove back to her house, not having any work. I drive back to her house, and she said,
So you didn't think at all, bro, this is weird that he's just not here.
I didn't. I was just,
where the fuck?
yeah, I was like, well, he got arrested, so I was like, what did he do? Maybe it's the U-Haul thing, because she wasn't at the U-Haul place anymore. So I was like, it is what it is. I'm just gonna go get this work. So, man, it's 2013. 2013, because then I started. So 2013, I'm working there. My baby's a little at this time. So, yeah, he was a little. So, I go back to her house, and she said, "What's going on?" She looked at me crazy, and I was like, "I don't have any work. Like, I got another job, but I really want to do this." So she was like a Haitian lady or something, like Jamaican or something like that. She was like, "You just go start your own business." And that right there was just like, it was like, like she gave me the key. You know what I mean? To like, she gave me the permission to go and start my own business. So I go home, and Miss Hernandez was like,